got a question from Brent, and Brent says, if a lot owner refuses or does not maintain large trees within their lot and the trees cause a blockage to the roof gutters, either their own gutters or that of their neighbour's gutters, or the trees cause damage to a fence, can you confirm who would be responsible to pay for the work to be done to rectify the damage? Does the body corporate get involved, or would it be a civil matter between the two lot owners? So I've had a look at Brent's particular property, and Brent is in a building format plan of subdivision. So a building format plan is the most common type of body corporate in Queensland by a long shot. So about 80% of buildings in Queensland are a building format plan. And under that plan type, the body corporate is responsible for the roof of each of the buildings and the gutters. So if there's a lot owner with a private courtyard or yard and there's a tree in that yard, that tree will generally be the lot owner's responsibility to maintain. If that tree causes damage to the gutters, which are the body corporate's responsibility to keep in good condition, then the body corporate may be able to pursue the lot owner for costs. With something like trees, it can be a bit of a difficult situation because a tree, when a tree is just being a normal tree, it does drop leaves. The leaves can be picked up by the wind and can block gutters. So it can be really difficult to prevent a tree from causing damage to gutters or roofing. You'll see a lot of buildings encounter this type of problem if they're in an area where there's a lot of tall trees nearby. A lot of those buildings will decide to either increase the frequency with which they clean the gutters and inspect the roof, or invest in something like gutter protection or gutter guard to mitigate that risk. As a general principle, lot owners in a body corporate have an obligation to keep their lot in good condition. So if that tree was not in good condition and that was contributing to the problem, then the body corporate could certainly issue a letter to that particular lot owner and tell them that they need to take some action to make their tree in better condition. So if the tree was sick or the tree was dying and it was constantly generating leaves and dropping them in one hit into the gutters, that might be a situation where the body corporate can compel that individual lot owner to do something about the tree. But the body corporate still has an obligation to maintain the roofs and gutters in good condition, and that would include proactively cleaning the gutters out, making any repairs to the gutters and to the roof, and generally doing its best practice job to make sure that if leaves get into the gutters, they can wash out or they're protected in some other way. To follow on from that question about the gutters, fencing, a similar principle, but the ownership of the fence may determine who has to take the action to make the lot owner comply with the tree obligations or the tree keeping obligations. So if you're a private lot owner, you've got a tree in your backyard and it is causing damage to a fence which bounds your property with somebody else's, you'll generally be 50% responsible for your own fences and the other 50% shared with the person on the other side of the fence. Now, trees are generally not supposed to cause damage to fencing, but again, it depends on whether that damage can be prevented. Damage from tree roots, generally speaking, is not a significant problem for the tree owner unless that tree is causing significant damage or the tree is in bad condition. But I think the legislation in Queensland recognises that when you have a tree, it does produce leaves, it does have roots under the ground, and no one can really control where those roots go. So generally speaking, with a fence, if a tree roots have caused the fence to move or become damaged, it generally still goes back to the normal fence obligations of that particular fence. So if it's a 50-50 shared fence, usually those owners would still need to make repairs to the fence in their 50% contributions, even if one person's tree roots have actually caused the need for that fence work to occur.